Gillette Stadium. Ashland is the Super Bowl champion of Division 6 and the winner of the Aganis Trophy.
Hello and welcome everybody to the season opener of Ashland High School varsity basketball. I'm Connor Donovan here in the Ashland High School gymnasium as your Ashland Clockers are going to be taking on the Holliston Panthers tonight, December 14th, 2021. We're in for a fun season here at Ashland High School. We have a pretty evenly balanced team. And after the pandemic season didn't exactly go Ashland's way in terms of a win-loss column, they're looking to rebound and put a lot of their talent to use. Because they were definitely an offensive-based team in the previous season. And a lot of those COVID rules from last year are more or less a thing of the past. The kids are still wearing masks. And but things like the jump ball, which we didn't see last year, we're going to be seeing again. So Ashland's Charlie Mikesis and number 25, Dylan Foley for Holliston, going to jump it up. And it's going to roll out of bounds, going Ashland's way. A lot of hustle to start this game. People diving on the floor. Some familiar faces from last year as well. The starters for Ashland, Max Deaver, Dylan Drozek, Luke Herter, Charlie Mikesis, and Jake Rimza. Herter with the ball right now with the handoff to Deaver. A lot of handoffs at the top of the key right now for Ashland. Herter was funky with the handle, and they get a shot off. Tried for an offensive rebound. They're going to say it was off Holliston. Another possession for Ashland here. Shot clock resets. In a stack formation. Herter under the basket. Going to put it way out by the logo. Drozek from the post. Finds a cutting Ashland guard. Couldn't finish the layup though. Ashland does a lot of their action at the top of the key we're seeing. Ooh, blocked by Holliston. Drozek with the offensive rebound, can't put it back though. Another possession for Ashland. It hasn't even been down the Holliston side of the floor yet. Shot clock going down though. In and out. And finally Holliston's going to get possession after 3 or 4 offensive attempts from Ashland. That was a lot of multiple efforts from Dylan Drozek and from Herter. Holliston on offense now. Their starting 5 looks like Andre Koev, Joe Gentile, Henry Savino, Dylan Foley, and Austin Merkin. A 3-ball attempt, in and out. Rebound grabbed by Ashland. Quickly down the floor is Deaver. Putting it in transition. A beautiful feed to Drozek for 2. First points of the young season for Ashland here. Koev, the primary ball handler, it looks like, for Holliston. Tossing it around the key. Good look, but all air. I think a foul was called on one of the Ashland players, so Holliston's going to get it. Dribbling around the key is Koev. To the baseline, an emphatic block, however. That was Rimza. All over that ball. We've seen quite the progression from Rimza from his freshman year until now. His freshman and sophomore year, he was more or less a sharpshooting bench player they would put in there for some easy offense, and now he has slowly worked his way into the starting role. Tipped by Holliston, doesn't go. Drozek comes down with a rebound. Rimza pushing the pace. Ty Letichevsky in the game as well now. Ashland taking some early subs. Mike Sis looking for a handoff over to Rimza. Can't stick the J, but Drozek is fouled under the baseline. Under the hoop, I should say, on the baseline. Still 2-0 Ashland here. Some extended offensive opportunities for both teams to start this game. And a turnover. Holliston pushing the pace. That's Austin Merkin. Over to Andre Koev. But deflected out of bounds. Going to stay Holliston ball. But Ashland has have very active hands on the defensive end at the start of this game. Mike Sis on Koev, that's a mismatch, but Ashland looks like it's playing a little bit of zone here, or trapping the ball handlers. Drozek, very active hands. Koev had to pick up his dribble. Shot clock winding down, the shot is up. And a nice cut from Austin Merkin to drain the jumper at the end of the shot clock. Good multiple efforts from Ashland, or from Holliston there, excuse me. Mike Sis, top of the key, looking for a handoff. Fakes it, but it finds Rimza. Nothing doing there, and Holliston is going to come down with the rebound. Andre Koev really likes to push the pace. A Euro step, though, on the baseline from, I think that was Merkin. No, it wasn't Merkin, excuse me. That was Dylan Foley. That's 4 quick points for Holliston here. Ashland's getting shots there. Their offense has looked pretty good with the multiple handoffs to the top of the key. Let's guys get downhill. Herder for 3 and front rimmed it. Gonna be Holliston ball. Ashland is coached by Mike Normand in his 2nd year, and Holliston is coached by familiar name if you've been around Ashland High School's basketball for a while. That's Mark Champagne. He used to coach Ashland a number of years ago. Actually has an Ashland alumni on his assistant coaching. That's deflected out of bounds, going to stay Holliston ball. That's John Irusi, who actually used to play for this very Ashland squad. That's a foul called on the ground. Inbound for Holliston here. They're going to put it way out into space. Blocked. Another emphatic block. That's 2 blocks in the first 4 minutes for Ashland here. Ty Letichevsky there. Another block from Mike Sis. I gotta say, I was watching some tape today from some of the games from last year, and defense definitely did not seem like Ashland's strong point. But, I mean, what a 180. Seems very defensive-oriented in the early goings here. 3 blocks already. And forced Holliston into a miss there. Rimza bringing it up. He has Letichevsky inside to Herder. And Herder for 2. Rimza on Koev. Letichevsky reaches there. Rims in and out. Rebound by Herder over to Rimza, who brings it up. In the post, outside to Letichevsky. That's good inside-out action for Ashland. But Letichevsky couldn't knock down the 3. It's going to stay Ashland ball, though. We're tied up at 4. Very, very low-scoring, defensive-oriented game here in the first quarter. So we've got just under 3 minutes remaining. Some subs for Ashland as well. Max Palin going to inbound the ball. Rims is still in there as well. He's played, and Herder, I should say, the starters that have played this entire first quarter so far. Rimza off the screen from Herder. Gets the matchup he wants. Pump fakes a three, but couldn't get the entry to Herder. They're going to reset, try it again. Shot clock winding down. And a foul. Foul is going to be on Dylan Foley. Palin with the inbound, looks for Rimza, finds him. Rimza picks up his dribble. Letichevsky takes it, tries for the interior pass, doesn't work out. The substitute center for Ashland is in right now. That's Thomas Apke. Although Palin's got some height on him as well. Ashland, now that I'm looking at it, is a pretty big team. They didn't have a lot of big guys in the seniors last year. Dalloway and Yules were not exactly having the height that Ashland looked for. Entry pass picked off by Herder. Herder's been everywhere on the defensive end right now. Herder driving baseline, powers through contact, can't get the shot to fall though. I thought Ashland would look a lot different defensively with the loss of Nick Simpson, but that is just not the case here, as Letichevsky with the active hands leads the break for two. 6-4, an incredibly low scoring game as we approach the last minute and a half of the first quarter here. Letichevsky again. Picks Holliston's pocket, going to take it himself. 4-2. Active hands has been the name of the game for Ashland defensively right now. 3 blocks recorded already, 2 steals for Letichevsky. Holliston trapped in the baseline. And again, active hands, that's Rimza. Takes it all the way for 2 again. A 6-0 run for Ashland to end the first quarter here. We're under 30 seconds. And a foul's called on Palin, I believe. Like I said before, in watching the tape from last year, this is certainly not what I expected to see from Ashland. I expected more offensive, heavy game planning and system work, but on the defensive end, I honestly did not expect such an improvement, especially with the loss of, as I said, Nick Simpson there, one of their star centers from last year. Austin Merkin, who I believe has also played the entirety of this first quarter, at the line right now for Holliston. Ten to 6 here, as Ashland's going to get the final possession. Max Deaver back in. Top of the key, Deaver takes it off the dribble. Tried to get it to the corner, but didn't work out. Turnover for Ashland here. Holliston's going to get a chance at the last shot. Time winding down. And that's the end of the first quarter here, where we're going to get definitely a defensive-sided game here. Ashland 10, Holliston 6. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will see you in just a second for the second quarter.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Marathon Deli. Marathon Deli offers a full range of lunch and dinner items for dine-in or catering. Fine cold cuts, cheeses, and meats also available, in addition to specialty wraps such as the Mayflower wrap, as well as the Honey Bee wrap. They'll be sure to get your mouth watering. Serving Metro West for over 24 years, give them a call at 508-231-1859 or find them on the web at marathondeli.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here for the second quarter. Ashland leading 10-6. And the score was definitely spurred on by a mini 6-0 run to cap off the first quarter from Ashland. Holliston had a score just before the buzzer, but active hands was the story for Ashland. They just looked unstoppable in the defensive end in that first quarter. And we're underway. The inbound to Koev. He seems to be the floor general for Holliston. And definitely there were some lapses defensively. Ooh, foul called. It's a tough look for Ashland. I think that was on number 12 for Ashland, Thomas Apke. He thought he was straight up and down. But either way, you got to respect the hard drive by Andre Koev. Holliston has been definitely settling for some outside shots and some outside jumpers in the first quarter and haven't seen much come out of their drives, and so Koev is trying to change that himself a little bit. Goes 1 for 2 at the line. It's a 3-point game. Inbound to Drozek, top of the key. And a good defensive play from Holliston there. Apke tried to fight amongst the trees himself. And 33 has his pockets picked by Drozek. And a Euro step from Apke, the big man for 2. (12-7) Ashland here. 5-point game. Drozek on Caden Dumas, seeing his first action of the game. Outside to number 14, Mike Gonsalves, for 3. First 3 ball of the night for Holliston. A 2-point game now. Inside to Drozek. Palin over to Deaver. Looks for Apke on the interior and called for a travel. Some wholesale subs for Ashland. Not wholesale. Deaver staying in there, but other than that, it's the starting lineup for Ashland. Rimza, Drozek, Herter, Meixis, and Deaver in for Ashland. Owen Vaughn picks up his dribble for Holliston. Shooting it around the key, but couldn't bury the jumper. Almost a huge rebound for 25 on Holliston, though. He's been everywhere. Dylan Foley. But Rimza manages to come down with the rebound. Tries to take the 3 himself. Front rims it, though, and Holliston's going to come away with it. 12-10 the score. Again, if you're just joining us, Ashland has been in control defensively, but has hit a bit of a cold streak in terms of their shot making as of late. Koev with Deaver on him. Shoots it around. Holliston, like Ashland, is really prioritizing ball movement at the top of the key. Great defense from Meixis, but a turnover. And a layup for Holliston. Ashland head coach Mike Norman not happy about that. Drozek out to Meixis. Into Herter. Pump fakes, lets guys fly by and takes 2 himself. Like I said, you're going to hear a lot of familiar faces if you've been tuning into Ashland High School sports this year. Luke Herter, off the foot of Deaver. He almost had the turnover there. Luke Herter, the anchor for the Ashland High School football offense. Fortunately, the football team, unlike a couple of years ago, they did actually get a good amount of rest before starting the basketball season. And a bunch of attempted ball saves under the hoop. It's going to end up going Holliston's way. I just remember in that 2019 season, a good portion of the basketball team was also made up of football players, and so they were all absolutely gassed when the season started. A laser of a pass from Deaver, but Herder can't finish. Ball being jostled for under the hoop. Finds Deaver. He's going to try to take the jumper himself, and rebound goes to Holliston. Connor Teague pulled down that rebound for Holliston. Koev is trying to get through Deaver, and he manages to do it, and Deaver has to commit the foul. 14-12 is where almost halfway through the second quarter here. Joe Gentile in the game, one of the starters for Holliston. Finds Koev. One dribble pull-up, but doesn't go for Austin Merkin. Rimza wants the ISO. Inside to Drozek. A lot of cutting and off-ball movement I'm seeing from Ashland under the hoop. Rimza takes it. Can't find it. Ashland battles for the offensive rebound, though. Holliston tries to take the charge. Rimza comes down with the offensive rebound, tries to take it up himself again, and gets fouled. That was good. That was good IQ from both players there. Rimza drove it and saw the Holliston defensive player trying to take the charge there and went up and around that charge. We're seeing a lot of multiple efforts from Ashland on the offensive end here. They've kind of been dominating the offensive glass. But that said, it seems like they are having a much more difficult time finishing when they get those offensive rebounds, because despite the fact that they're leading in the rebound category, it's still a 2-point game. Rimza goes 1 for 2 at the line, and it's a 3-point game now. Andre Koev brings it up. He's being guarded by James Proya. And Proya with the active hands. Proya forces the jump ball. Or not jump ball. They're going to, oh, it's, they don't do jump balls at the high school level. It's just possession arrows. I forgot. So Proya wins Ashland the possession there. Herder, top of the key, looks for Meixis. Meixis in the post. Turns over that shoulder, tries for the fadeaway. Doesn't get the bounce to go, though. Koev a hard rebound. Being hounded by Proya up the court. A sweet crossover, though, but doesn't get the layup to fall. Ledichevsky with the rebound coming down the court. Rimza seems to be the starting point for the Ashland offense usually. Multiple dribble handoffs. Finds Rimza again, though. Didn't see the call there. Maybe a carry? An illegal screen, maybe? Three-point game. So we're heading into the final 2 minutes of the second quarter before halftime here. Very few fouls as well on both sides. This game has sort of flown by. A nice move That was Dylan Foley. Turns baseline and a pretty little floater. 1 point game now. Holliston has not led yet. Inside to Meixis. He can't get the lob. He can't control the lob, I should say, but Ashland retains possession. Herder's calling out a play from under the hoop. Meixis gets fouled. .147 to go. I did notice Holliston did start to double Rimza off of the stack here. Herder can't finish the layup, but gets fouled on the offensive rebound. Nice entry pass. You can really see why they start to really force the offense through Rimza, because he really does have a good eye for passes. He's definitely been slinging the ball around the court a fair bit, even though he himself has not really been on the board in terms of lots of point scoring. And there's an inbound violation from Ashland. They just couldn't find the open man. So again, it was the story of the first half. Multiple efforts on the offensive end for both teams. And we just saw that again from Ashland. Ooh. Number 30, Owen Vaughn, his first points of the night. And Holliston takes their first lead. 15-17 as we're approaching under a minute to go. Rimza decides to take it himself. Tough shot, won't go. And Holliston in the fast break here. Ashland manages to get back in transition, though. Got to watch Gonsalves on the perimeter. In and out, but rebound for Holliston, and a foul. Sean O'Neill, it's been tough to contain him on the glass whenever he's been in the game. And whenever Meixis or Apke has been battling down low on the offensive end, it's been the same story. Sean O'Neill protecting the paint for the Holliston end. (15-18). Take that 15-19. 4-point game now. Ashland hasn't scored in a minute here, as we're under a minute to go before halftime. I was going to say it, and I guess Coach read my mind, but you got to get Drozek back in there. He's been doing so many of the little things here. And just like that, he seals off so Herder can get two of his own, sealing off under the hoop. But Ashland not getting back on transition. Doesn't result in a made three for Holliston, but definitely a scary look heading into halftime. Rimza doing a little bit of hand checking. Time winding down here, 5 seconds. A jumper, smooth at the buzzer for Austin Merkin. And so we're gonna head into halftime with Ashland, who dominated defensively in the first half, or the first quarter, I should say. Kind of letting go of the rope a little bit. It is Ashland 17, Holliston 21. And we will catch you in just a few minutes for the second half. I'm Connor Donovan.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Marathon Deli. Marathon Deli offers a full range of lunch and dinner items for dine-in or catering. Fine cold cuts, cheeses, and meats also available, in addition to specialty wraps such as the Mayflower wrap, as well as the Honey Bee wrap. They'll be sure to get your mouth watering. Serving Metro West for over 24 years, give them a call at 508-231-1859 or find them on the web at marathondeli.com.
And we're back for the third quarter here. Ashland High School Gymnasium, as Ashland, despite a very strong first quarter, is finding themselves down 21-17. I'm Connor Donovan, and we're happy to have you tonight on WACA-TV for the season opener, Ashland v. Holliston. Seen a lot of good things from Ashland so far. And I gotta say, I mentioned it just before we went to break at the in the second quarter, but I'm trying to see some more minutes for Dylan Drozek. He doesn't have all the points for Ashland, but he has just been doing so many of the little things for Ashland. He's had active hands. He's been pulling down some tough rebounds. He's been setting other guys up from the post. Just been an all-around really, really effective presence for Ashland tonight, as has Rimza on his entry passes. Andre Koev flying around the court, dishes it off to 24. Offensive rebound goes Holliston's way. Outside, outside to Austin Merkin. Finds Koev, drives baseline, and he stepped out. No, foul. So we don't have point totals for you, unfortunately. I do not have a stat keeper. And there's a three-point play for Andre Koev. I may not have a stat keeper, but I can tell you that this guy has been anchoring this Holliston offense. Sinks the free throw, and this deficit is getting a little bit larger as time goes on for Ashland here. 24-17. Rimza loses the handle. Ball on the ground. Rimza's trapped in the corner, finds Mixus. And a travel. Another empty possession for Ashland. These are adding up at this point. This has been great adaptability from head coach Mike Champagne. Mark Champagne, excuse me. I should know, he used to coach Ashland. A push foul called on, I believe, Rimza. No, it was on Drozek. Ashland didn't have the strongest offense in the first quarter, but anchored it through their defense, and that just has not been the case for these last two quarters thus far. It's a 9-point lead for Holliston now. Ashland has yet to score this quarter. And a foul. Mixus is fouled by Owen Vaughn, who had a three in the closing minutes of the second quarter. It's going to be side out for Luke Herter. Rimza in the corner. Finds Deaver. Deaver drives baseline. Brings it back out. And a beautiful playing of the passing lane. And Owen Vaughn can't finish. But a timeout. First timeout we've seen all night, actually. I believe that was Owen Vaughn. It might have been Austin Merkin on the steal there. But either way, it's Holliston ball. Right under the hoop. Or on the side out, excuse me. Holliston has just slowly adapted to the Ashland defensive scheme. Even though these starters for Ashland really did put on a show defensively. They had three, if you're just joining us, that is, if they had 3 blocks in about a minute, in like 2 possessions, they had 3 blocks. And Letichevsky, who has not seen a ton of minutes in the second quarter. He had 2 steals on his own within like 15 seconds. Just a very defensive-minded first quarter for Ashland that we haven't really seen that same intensity on that end. Rimza takes the Drozek screen. Drozek doing a great job and gets fouled. Like I said, Drozek just doing the little things. He screened and rolled there for Rimza, and then he dipped under the hoop and sealed in case a baseline drive was coming from the corner. And a brilliant cut. I say his name, and he does something, breaks the scoring drought for Ashland. That's Dylan Drozek. Holliston, a lot of movement on the baseline. A lot of baseline cuts. Oh, they don't take any of those baseline cuts, though. A 3 coming in from Austin Merkin. Ashland has got to respond on the offensive end now. Mixus with the handoff to Deaver. Takes it off the dribble, jump stop. Lets guys go by but can't finish. Body's on the ground. And a travel call. Drozek really leaving it all out on the floor tonight. 10-point lead for Holliston, however. As Deaver's going to get to the bench. And we're going to see number 23 for Ashland. Or not, excuse me, 32. Got the numbers mixed up. I actually don't have him on my roster here. Oh, it's 33. Patrick Dwinell is seeing his first action of the night. Entry to Drozek, takes it himself. A floater goes. That was a nice little turnaround move. Haven't seen that yet tonight. Timeout Holliston. Ashland's starting to see something going with their offense. It's still an 8-point lead for Holliston, but Ashland is not really getting stopped on the offensive end as much as they were in the second and beginning of the third quarter. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsor for tonight, bringing you this broadcast, Marathon Deli. If you want the best subs in town, you know where to go, 135. They're there right across from Lucky Farm, right next to Honeydew. I usually get the chicken pesto wrap, but I've been known to get their steak and cheeses as well as their chicken parmesan subs. And my crew for tonight, Nick Cunningham and Tom Hamilton. I know my friend Tom Hamilton likes to get their meatball sub a lot as well. But you can't really go wrong with any of their stuff. I know their Mayflower wrap is incredibly popular as well. Anything you get, you're going to get something good. And they are the sponsors of tonight's Ashland High School varsity basketball game. Holliston ball, side out. 8-point lead. Ashland really trying to see if they can get themselves back in this one. Bringing some of that defensive intensity. And a push. Andre Koev tried to get over the timeline and ran right into, I think that was Apke? It was, no, it was not Apke. It was Max Palin who's seeing some minutes. Ashland threatens a double just after the timeline, but as we know, that's going to leave someone open. And it lets Vaughn open in the corner. And great recognition by Koev to find the open man and thus find Vaughn in the corner. Ashland was forced to give the foul there. Dwinell's jostling for position inside with Dylan Foley. Over to Vaughn, swinging to Koev. Rimza's picking him up. Kick out. Holliston not really looking for the three-point shot right now. Shot clock winding down, and Ashland gets a deflection. Coming the other way. Rimza going to take it off the dribble. Jumper doesn't go. Been a cold night for Rimza thus far, but he has had quite the passing gene tonight. Wide open three for Holliston, and Austin Merkin's been doing that tonight. You can't leave him open on the perimeter. 21-32. The lead has ballooned to 11. Drozek in the post. Dribble handoff for Rimza. Outside, here's Dwinell's for three. Nothing but air. Drozek and Palin out for Ashland. And we're going to get Letichevsky and Apke in the game. And Koev's replacement seems to be Mike Gonsalves, who's hit a couple threes tonight on his own. Runner won't go. Rebound pulled down by Apke. Ball finds Rimza in the half court. Letichevsky off the dribble. Jump stop. Doesn't get the layup to go. Apke in the trees. Comes down with the offensive rebound. Puts it up. Not going to go. Ashland can't afford to not finish these second chance opportunities. Gonsalves in the corner. That's Vaughn. Oh yeah, you can't give this jumper. Ashland dodges a bullet there with Austin Merkin. A good closeout forced him to take it off the perimeter. Here's Rimza. Letichevsky screen. Instead gives it to Apke. Great ball movement here. There's the open man. Rimza for three. He got it. That's all it takes. Just takes one shot going in, and then a shooter like Rimza can get hot. And that was the product of great offense. Great ball movement for Ashland here. Mike Norman telling his team to calm down a little bit on the defensive end. Can't be given too many of these take fouls because Holliston's going to be in the bonus pretty soon. I said they are in the bonus, actually. Joe Gentile at the line. It's 1-1 in high school. If you make the first, you get a second at the line in the bonus. And Gentile missed the first. Deflection from Holliston. And Gonsalves running the offense. We have a stoppage here. Not quite sure. Oh, I think a mask broke, actually. Yeah, a mask did break. That is definitely a unique circumstance that we would only really see in 2020 or 2021. So a Holliston player got a new mask and is still in the game. That was Henry Savino. Vaughn picked up his dribble on the timeline, managed to get it. Oof. Managed to get it to Austin Merkin, who drove it himself and draws the foul. Blocking foul on Dwinell's. Austin Merkin has really been, he and when Koev is on the bench, I should say, he has really been the guy that Holliston looks to offensively. He could take it off the dribble, he could shoot it from three. A real offensive threat for Holliston. Herter comes down with the rebound. Finds Ty Ledichevsky. Rimza for three. No. Ashland comes away with the offensive rebound, though. Dwinells finds Ledichevsky. Ledichevsky on the strong side gets fouled. If they have those opportunities, Ashland's got to be swinging the ball around. That ball movement paid dividends for them on that in the first quarter on that last possession before this. Ledichevsky takes it up strong and gets fouled. (24-32), still an 8-point game. These free throws vitally important right now. Have to get it. It's looking like they have to get it around a two-possession game if they really want to be in this heading into the fourth quarter. And we're under a minute to go. 25-32. Gonsalves with the ball. He hasn't really seen a lot of touches past bringing it up the court since the first quarter, but we know he's deadly from the perimeter. As I say that, Savino, who we haven't said his name a whole lot tonight, drains a three. And the lead is back to 10. Ashland really needs something big on this last possession. Herter on his pivot foot to Dwinells. Nothing doing for this Ashland offense right now. Dwinells takes it himself. Euro step, lefty off the glass, not going to go. Holliston playing with pace. And a great block, actually, to end that quarter from Ledichevsky, but actually maybe looking for a little bit more offensively, as they're going to take a 10-point deficit into the fourth quarter, and we'll be covering it for you after this break.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Marathon Deli. Marathon Deli offers a full range of lunch and dinner items for dine-in or catering. Fine cold cuts, cheeses, and meats also available, in addition to specialty wraps such as the Mayflower wrap, as well as the Honey Bee wrap. They'll be sure to get your mouth watering. Serving Metro West for over 24 years, give them a call at 508-231-1859 or find them on the web at marathondeli.com.
And welcome back. Fourth quarter action here at the Ashland High School Gymnasium. Ashland finds themselves in a 10-point hole, but there were signs of life at the end of the third. Their offense did get going a fair amount. They can string together some stops on the defensive end. This game is not out of hand. It looks like we have Rimza, Ledichevsky, Dwinells, Apke, and Drozek out there for Ashland. Holliston side of things, we have Savino, Gonsalves, and Rimza. That jumper is not going to go. Caden Dumas seeing his first minutes of the night for Holliston, as well as Joe Gentile back in the game. Dumas off the dribble. Savino already hit one from three there. Gonsalves has also hit one from the perimeter. Here's Connor Teague. Nothing doing offensively here for Holliston. A great defensive stand from Ashland. And Rimza brings it up. Rejects the screen. Wants to take Gonsalves in the ISO. Just kidding. Puts Drozek in the post. Dribble handoff. Rimza gets it back. Lob entry to Drozek. Off the glass, 4-2. Holliston puts it up strong, but Drozek comes down with the rebound. Rimza in transition. And he can't finish the layup. Ball finds him again, though. Letichevsky for three. Too strong. Ashland's been stringing together some stops to start the fourth. Here's Gentile. And turnover, Holliston. Drozek in transition. Letichevsky with the rebound and puts it up for two. A 6-point game now. Ashland been ramping up the defensive intensity, and there's timeout Holliston. This unit for Ashland is doing a lot defensively. You have Letichevsky and Drozek, some big bodies that make it hard to get through or post up or fight through screens. Then you have Rimza, who's a solid, long defender. This is a good unit out there. It's an agile, big unit for Ashland. That said, though, I mean, Rimza seems like he gets these mismatches sometimes. Like he was switched onto Gonsalves through a screen, and he has a lot of height on Mike Gonsalves, and he could use that mismatch. I mean, it might not be a mismatch. Maybe Mike Gonsalves is a lockdown defender, and Rimza is just kind of scared of that matchup because he ended up getting switched onto somebody else. But in terms of just a pure height mismatch, it seems like Rimza should have, done a little bit with it, driven it to the hoop, looked for a jumper or something, because he just had so much height, like maybe a 3/4 of a foot on Mike Gonsalves. That might be the next step for Ashland, because it seems like they do a lot to get Drozek in these mismatches down low in the post, and that's how he's gotten a lot of points just from layups. And I think the next step might be to get their shooters mismatched. Letichevsky with a block, but a foul is called. Letichevsky cannot believe it. Henry Savino at the line for two. Savino's really been showing up in this second half for Holliston. Ashland comes down with the missed free throw, and Rimza's directing traffic a little bit. Drozek from the free throw line. Handoff for Rimza. Pull-up jumper, front rim. Herder comes down with the rebound, though. Ashland has been absolutely amazing on these offensive rebounds. Letichevsky looks off his defender. Puts up a three. And again, Drozek comes down with that offensive rebound and gets fouled. Ashland has been putting in the work on the offensive glass. It makes me think that Holliston really might, if this game gets close, really might need to put Sean O'Neill in there to drag down these rebounds. Turnover for Ashland. And here's Andre Koev back in the game. Savino outside. Here's Merkin. He's really come alive in the third and the fourth. Koev puts drives into some bodies and throws up something with the shot clock winding down. Ashland with another good defensive possession. They really got to use it on the offensive end here. Rimza drives baseline, weak side, and gets blocked. Ball stays Ashland's possession, though. Drozek gets stripped. Merkin with the steal. Ashland's been having trouble on these inbound plays, getting themselves situated. Koev running down some clock. Ashland's running out of time to put something together. We're almost halfway through the fourth quarter of action. Oh, not Ledichevsky, that's Thomas Apke. Gets a tough whistle there. Mike Norman also cannot believe the foul. Foul is on Joe Gentile. Seven-point game for Holliston. Gentile missed them both. Holliston comes away with the offensive rebound, though. But Herder called for the foul, or just side out? No, just side out. Drozek got a hand on that inbound. But it does find Koev, as it's done whenever he's been in the game. It's been so solid for Holliston. But the drive gets tied up. That's a turnover. Ashland coming the other way. Here's Rimza between the legs. Takes it. The lefty finisher is a tough shot. But yet again, it's been Dylan Drozek coming down with the rebound. And he gets fouled. He'll be at the line for two. And Ashland's got to be getting close to the bonus at this point. The scoreboard says Holliston's in the bonus, but Ashland's been fouled a bunch of times. Dylan Drozek's been fouled a bunch of times. The lineup is Luke Herder, Jake Rimza, Ty Ledichevsky, Dylan Drozek, and Thomas Apke in the game. And Ashland, bodies flying on the ground. They come away with the possession here. Herder with the inbound play. They haven't had that much problem with these side-out inbounds, but they have had an issue with the baseline under the basket inbounds. Had a number of turnovers from that. Lob entry to Herder, he gets fouled. And Ashland's in the bonus now. Herder will shoot 1 and 1. Holliston skies for the rebound. 3.5 minutes to go. Fourth quarter here. Holliston's still leading by 7. There hasn't been a score in quite a while. Oh, a beautiful entry pass for the three-point play. Andre Koev to Austin Merkin. And that was the exclamation point for the night here in Ashland. But wow, what a laser of a pass from Andre Koev, who has been totally in control every minute he's been on the floor offensively. And Merkin, who has really revitalized this Hopkinton offense in the second and has not looked back. Rims off the missed free throw. Takes the Drozek screen. Over to Herder in the corner. Entry to Drozek. Rims up for three. The beautiful screen from Drozek as well. Offensive rebound. Put back up by Herder. And it's a 5. No, it is not. Excuse me. I forgot to log those 2 points. It's still a 7-point game. Ashland communicating about switches on defense. In the hands of Merkin. Now over to Savino. This is a tough lineup to be against. Definitely Holliston's got the shooting in this lineup. Merkin with the hezzy dribble. Hands off to Koev. And he stepped out of bounds. Ashland has had some great defensive stops here, but just has not been able to put it together on offense yet. And they're going to talk it over, see if they can draw something up. Timeout Ashland. (31-38) the score. If you're just joining us, it's been a back and forth game. Ashland was lights out defensively to start the game, but has since slipped in the second, where Holliston took their first lead, and it's been off to the races ever since. The lead was as large as 11, and it is now 7. We have just under 3 minutes to go in the game. Ashland's offense has been, at times, really, really good. At times, we've seen a lot of offensive rebounds and box outs result in fouls, result in layups. Their shooting hasn't exactly been up to par, especially when you're looking at guys from Holliston like Austin Merkin and Andre Koev and Mike Gonsalves. But they've just been dominating the offensive glass. They need to finish their possessions a lot of the time. That's seems to be the only thing standing between Ashland and the 7-point deficit. And now we get to see what head coach Mike Norman has drawn up for them. Herder to inbound, Rimza in the backcourt. Herder being very physical, trying to get through screeners. And a whistle. I'm not entirely sure what the call was there, but Rimza's going to the line. I think maybe a foul off ball. Rimza fighting through the screen may have gotten fouled, and he's going to get a 1-and-1. This is why you save your timeouts in basketball, because it's coming down to the wire. Ashland with 3, Holliston with 2 timeouts left. Head coach Mark Champagne for Holliston, giving his team a talking to. Talking about how defensively there seems to be quite a few breakdowns. It just hasn't really resulted in a bunch of Ashland points. I would definitely put an emphasis on boxing out those offensive rebounds. But Holliston has just been so solid offensively. They have a lot of threats from the perimeter. They have a lot of threats putting the ball on the ground and driving. And if it were a question of who's been the better offensive team tonight, I think you have to give it to Holliston. It's just, they've put on a clinic. Both of their lines, whether it's the starters or it's the bench, they have really shown out, both from a shooting perspective and from a driving perspective. As Rimza hits the first. And he hits the second. 5-point game. Quick sub for Holliston, getting some size back in there. Dylan Foley, who had a fantastic first half, and that's why they need that size. Ledichevsky got the block, but Foley managed to retain it. Koev finds Foley. Just over 2 minutes to go here before the game comes to an end, and it is a 5-point lead for Holliston. This is a big possession. but they can't really get anything going. 5 seconds left. A deep three. Austin Merkin sent up a prayer. There's nothing really you can do about that. It was good defense from Ashland for 27 seconds. And that just might be the dagger. Ashland can't find anything on defense. 8-point lead for Holliston. And we're under a minute and a half. Foley over to Merkin. Finds Koev. They're just trying to run out the clock here, and Drezek commits the foul. Wow, Austin Merkin has been an offensive juggernaut. A scoring machine for this Holliston offense. There's been multiple instances where you have to respect his shot from deep as Andre Koev hits the first free throw. There's been multiple instances where you have to respect his shot from deep, and he knows that, and so he puts the ball on the floor and he drives, and he's had instances where he's had and ones through contact, or he gets the layup clean. Just been a stellar offensive player for Holliston. Koev goes 2 of 2. And we're just over a minute here. They're blitzing the screen at this point. Holliston has really adapted defensively. Meixis commits a turnover. And we're winding down here. Herter commits the foul. 10-point lead for Holliston. It was a hard-fought game for Ashland, and we saw a lot of good, especially that this is the season opener. Looking forward to the rest of the season. This is a team that we're definitely going to see a lot out of defensively. If they can just get that offense firing, they can get Rimza to hit those shots. They can get Herter to use his muscle to drive through contact and finish at the rim, as we've seen multiple times tonight. So if we can just put all these little offensive pieces together that we're seeing from Ashland, if we can get Meixis to really dominate in the post, this could be a really great team for Ashland. Deep three from Rimza, front rims it. And Ashland is pressing, but it's too little too late. Vaughn over to Austin Merkin yet again, and he's going to go to the line. A 13-point lead for Holliston now, after Andre Koev hit 2 of 2 free throws. And Merkin does the same. Some of the bench coming in for Ashland here. Apke cleans up the air ball and gets 2. And that's going to do it. Merkin crosses the timeline, and that's the game. Ashland falls to 0-1 on the season, but there's a lot to like about this 2021-2022 Ashland squad. But my gosh, that Holliston team just overwhelmed Ashland with offense in the closing 3 quarters. Ashland just never saw the lead again, but that's okay. It's the first game of the season, a lot to work on, and we'll be covering it for you all season on WACA-TV. sponsored by Marathon Deli. And I'm Connor Donovan saying good night and go Clockers. We will see you tomorrow for the season opener of the girls basketball. And then we will see you again on Friday for Friday Night Lights, girls basketball then as well. Take care, everybody.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Marathon Deli. Marathon Deli offers a full range of lunch and dinner items for dine-in or catering. Fine cold cuts, cheeses, and meats also available, in addition to specialty wraps such as the Mayflower wrap as well as the Honey Bee wrap. They'll be sure to get your mouth watering. Serving Metro West for over 24 years, give them a call at 508-231-1859 or find them on the web at marathondeli.com.